So hi guys, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
what
okay.
drama we had then. So it's here in England, 10 o'clock at night on the 7th of April. And this is the time when we are going into the full moon in Libra at about 2 o'clock this morning. And we did an amazing global meditation. Many of you were on it, and I'm really grateful that you were on it, because when we looked at the resonance of a global meditation, and I'll show you, Wendy, I did ask you if you could share this, but I don't know if you'll be able to share it. I can just show you on my phone. This is what happened at the time the whole world did their meditation. Can everyone see it? Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
See that? Can you share? I don't know if you can share the screen, or we can just see it anyway, can't we? So see what happens when people come together in a collective way, and I'm really happy to share that with anybody if they want that. It's over Facebook anyway. But what happens when we all come together from a place of heart and a place of consciousness? And so what I really wanted to do, because I felt that there was another wave coming. Now, not another wave coming in the sense of how awful it is in the world, but another wave coming in the sense of how amazing we are really going to be after this. So what I wanted to do was lots of things tonight. What I wanted to do was get amazing people together with vibrational matches, which we are, that really want the same for the planet and for ourselves. And also, because I love astrology, I wanted to, and I'm learning astrology, and my groups know that I talk about astrology all the time. What I wanted to do was have some fun with you so that I could talk to you about where it was in your chart that Libra fell. Now, I'm not a professional astrologer, right? So don't quote me on anything that I say. I'll do my best, but I can intuitively tell you what I feel about each house. I can help you with whatever the guides are telling me, and I can look at my chart that I've got. So I've got a couple of charts in front of me. So for any of you that don't know me, that haven't been on any of my calls or met me or did any work with me, obviously I'm Susan Kennard, and I'm known as a spiritual scientist. And the reason for that is because I like to work with the science of who you are and the soul of who you are. And if you want to hear my spiritual awakening experience, you can find it on my podcast, The Spiritual Awakener. It's episode 1. And I talk about how I spiritually awakened. And so incorporating the science of the work, all the traditional training, neuropsychology, psychology, psychotherapy, naturopathy, and being a channel and a medium, and soon to be an astrologer as well, which I can't wait. So I want to kind of explore this with you first, and the reason for that is because my guidance was that what we're going to do is we're going to look at what house this falls for you, the full moon in Libra, which is also a super moon. And if you look outside, or where we are in the UK, if you look outside, oh my goodness, it's like, it's incredible. It's so big and so beautiful. And the power of the moon is so strong, and it gets illuminated by the opposite sign to Libra, which is Aries. So that's where the sun is at the moment, and the moon is full in Libra. So it's doubly aspected, which is really lovely. So let's just connect with our heart center first. Let's just ground ourselves. I'm going to prepare this space so that everybody's in the same space. I'm going to check that nobody needs to be let in. Hold on. I find that incredible. If you could all mute yourself, just, I think Wendy, you need to mute you. That's fine. And just make sure you're muted, because else what happens is there's a lot of background noise. And let's just come into our heart space. And what the guides are giving me is just to imagine a beautiful golden heart in your heart space. And expand this heart out with every breath that you take in and you breathe out. So watch as that golden heart expands. And almost as if with each breath that you are taking, this heart expands and you start to feel that expansion in your heart chakra and in your heart field. And so what I'm being shown here is that this heart field is just expanding out and touching everybody. So we are kind of connecting together in our heart fields right now. And so we're coming from that beautiful space of unconditional love. Okay, good. And then I want you to imagine that you have your Earth star under your feet. And your soul star above your head. And just know that you are connected with that beam of light from your soul star down to your Earth star. And just feel that sense of being connected to Mother Earth and grounded. And feel that sense of being connected to the multiverse, the universe and the multiverse. And I'm just going to clear the energy, create all that is. It's commanded that you pull, clear, cancel and delete on all levels from resolve and the history level. Any waves, any watches, any entities, any attachments, anything that is not of the free will of anyone here in the group and anyone listening afterwards, to release it now to unconditional love, allowing us to be pure, clear channels of source, light and unconditional love. And that the intention of this session is that everybody receives exactly what they need, and everybody receiving this energy out of this group is able to receive exactly what they need. That's perfect for their highest and best good. And so it is. Good. Now I just want you to imagine that almost as if you're pillars of light and you're all standing in a circle, connected. And all those pillars of light become one circle of light. And what the guides are showing me is that as you become this circle of light, then all of the beings that work with you, all of the angels, all of the guides, yeah, okay, all of the higher beings of light, all of the galactic beings, many ascended masters are stepping in here, and the goddesses. The high priestess energy is here as well. Ah, the moon, it makes sense. Okay. So just feel into that energy and set your own intention. Remembering that pure abundance and our ability to really thrive on our mission is when we can really have a collective vision. So as we have a collective vision, our vision gets taken care of. So just for a second, to that moment, just have a beautiful collective vision for others. Fantastic. And actually what the guides are giving me here is to imagine that you have this beautiful golden heart. I didn't know they were going to do this. So this beautiful golden heart, and that you offer this golden heart up to the universe, and that you offer this golden heart out to the world. And you bring that golden heart back to yourself. Beautiful. And then come back to me. Okay. Good. Ooh, I didn't expect them to do that. So obviously there was already a preparation for your heart going out to the world and for you to receive that back. And that makes sense, because when we're looking at living in our divine purpose and our divine mission is very much about being able to receive unconditional love and give unconditional love. And that is the balance of our divine masculine and our divine feminine. Okay, so those of you that have your chart, okay, and I was smiling with my monthly group call group because they all put their charts up on the group call on the messenger, and they were like, I don't get this, I don't get this, I don't get this. And I was like, be patient, right? Be patient, we're going to look at it. So if everyone has their chart, and if you don't have your chart, don't worry, you can watch this again and just feel what feels right to you. But if you have your chart in front of you, just to have a look, and I'll give you an example if you don't know what to look for. So this is my chart, and if you look at my chart here, you can see that you've got sort of like houses, yeah, and you've got, look at all my planets in Libra. No mistake that I'm doing this today, and I felt drawn to. Okay, let me just make sure. There's a few people that want to come in. Hold on. Okay, one person is waiting. I have no idea. Right, okay. Okay, good. So if you've got your chart and it looks kind of similar, you got yours, Lorraine? You got yours up? Yeah. Yay, she's got hers. Everyone there. Guy, everyone. Becky, have you got yours? Oh, she hasn't got hers. We'll do hers later. So if you have a look at what house Libra falls in, and I just really like kind of have fun with this, right? So if you look at what house, all right, I'm going to read out for you how this possibly will be affecting you in your life at this moment in time. But I also really want to tell you that, you know, we've had the Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, Mars thing going on, conjunction, and it has been really massive, right? And it's still going on. And when we look at Pluto in our chart, we're looking at all of the things, this is my opinion, but all of the things that we've brought in this lifetime to heal. And it's the fear of survival usually. Okay, so I don't know if some of you have noticed, but there's been some sort of quite a lot of emotion. I know that my friend Corinne said that she'd been quite emotional today. And definitely when Chiron hit the new moon in Aries a couple of weeks ago, Chiron hit, that's my natal planet. So that made me quite emotional as well. And so it's what's going on in the world is we're bringing stuff up to really look at it. Okay, so this full moon, when you think about Libra, obviously I'm Libra in my chart. Becky would be laughing about that. Becky, girl who loves astrology, look at those Libra planets, see? So basically all of those planets really say that I really love balance, and Libra is really about relationship, so relationship to self, relationship to others. And so when we're looking at where that is in your chart today, looking at how that affects you in your relationships, or how it might affect you in your relationship to yourself as well. Okay, so is everybody, does anyone have a message? Let me have a look and just see. And then, okay, yeah, so okay, so whether you're looking at Placidus or whole sign, if it's kind of in between the two, then just go with where you feel drawn. And if you know how to do kinesiology and muscle testing, so what I love to do is this. So basically I ask a question. It always is a direct statement. So I would say, okay, so the Libra falls in my 11th house. Okay, Libra falls in my 10th house, my 9th house, so on. And yes for me is this, and no for me is when it comes apart. So for those of you that know how to check through muscle testing or through kinesiology, whichever way you do it, if you're not sure which house, you can just ask. So just ask your physical body, which is your energy field, and just ask that part of you to tell you. All right, so I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds to do that if you feel you don't know. It's just really good fun. Hang on, let me just have a look at messages here. Hi Liam, just seeing you come on, that's brilliant. Okay, so is everyone okay? Everyone got their chart? And anyone that hasn't, we can, you know, you can always go back and listen to this. This will be across social media, and unfortunately we can't send it out on email because there's often too many people to send it out on email to. But if you definitely email me and definitely want it, then we can send it to you. Okay, and if you're in one of my groups, then it'll be posted on the group. Okay, so yeah, okay, great. All right, so let me read out, starting with the first house. Okay, so when you're looking at your chart and you see which number is by the side of it, and if there isn't a number, then you can check with kinesiology which number it's in. Okay, so let me just get my phone so I can enlarge it. So what I did was I printed this out. And Liam, you'll recognize this because you gave it to me. Okay, so I'm going to get it up on my phone because I can then enlarge it and have fun with it. Okay, good. And then after this, we're going to do the healing for that part. Right, okay. Where is mine? Here it is. Right, okay. So if Libra falls in your first house, okay, and you're looking at your chart now, then this is about yourself, your true self, your appearance in the world, first impressions, new beginnings, and your attitude to life. So think about how that might be playing out for you at the moment in your relationships. Oh, the guides are going to give a bit of intuition with each house, actually, they're telling me. So hold on, let's have a listen. So everybody who's got that in there, that's showing up in their first house. Okay, thanks. What they're saying to me is this is about me, meaning you. So how am I really standing in my own power, in my expression in the world? I love that. That's better than what's written down here. Yeah, so how am I really standing in my own power, expressing out to the world? Okay, so that's the first house. Okay, and then if it's in your second house, this is very much, yeah, okay, this is very much about money and values, your daily routine and the environment that you're in. But what the guides are also telling me is this is also about the abundance that you're creating. So they're giving me that this is about how you create your abundance in your life. So your material abundance, they're saying to me. So how you create that. So just think about that, you know, how that's playing out in your world at the moment. Okay. And then the the third house is very much about your community, your neighbours. And obviously at the moment we're perhaps seeing our neighbours a bit more from across the way, because everyone's in their house, but how you communicate with your friends and siblings. So this is quite interesting at the moment, isn't it? Because ordinarily we might see people, but in this case there's new ways and finding new ways of communicating with these important people, like in our community, in our neighbours and our siblings and so on. Yeah, thanks. I don't have much to say about that. With just the kind of relationship. Oh, thank you. Okay, so building the relationships with your siblings, your friends, your neighbours. And what I'm hearing from the guides is building relationships in a different way. So finding new ways of communicating with them, which I think is really lovely, actually. And it could usually be short distance travel, but you know, obviously no one's really going anywhere at the moment. So if it's in your fourth house, if it falls in your fourth house, then it's about your roots, about your home, about your family. And of course, you know, a lot of us are inside at the moment with our families. It's about your emotional foundation. Yeah, okay. And what I'm hearing about this as well is that this is very much about how, interestingly, how grounded and safe you feel. So how grounded and safe you feel in the world. Okay. So it's about your home, your family, your roots. So you're also looking at, you know, your mother's mothers and your father's fathers. So when you do this healing for yourself and out into the globe later on, then this is going to be a really powerful one, because this is very much about the ancestors and it's about where you came from originally. Okay, so it's a really good one, a really powerful one. So if it's in your 5th house, this is very much about romance. It might be internet romance at the moment, but it's romance, it's play, it's your self-expression and creativity. And what I'm also hearing here is this is also about channeling. I haven't heard this before. Okay, so this is also about channeling your creativity. So maybe that they're giving me this because they're saying, well, actually you might not be able to have a huge amount of romance, but what you can do is open up the doorway for romance by channeling your creativity. And I'm actually also seeing with this the Kundalini energy. So they're showing me that Kundalini spiral spiral energy coming down. So 5th house is really cool. Okay, so moving on, if it's in the 6th house, then this is, you know, for me, this is very much about acts of service out in the world. It's about how healthy you are, your fitness levels, and organizations as well. But what I'm hearing about this, is what the guides are saying is that this is thinking about if you've had to take time to stop, which most people have, this is how can you be of service. So that act of service, how can you best be of service, okay, to the collective? That's what I'm hearing. And so the health and fitness side of it, it's quite interesting. So if you have it in the 6th house, it might be the time to really think about your immune system and how healthy you are and what you're actually putting into your body. Okay, might be a really good time to think about it, because we know that really health is about our immunity and about how strong we are and how much light we bring into our field. Okay, and anything that is our body is the barometer, so everything that our body is showing us, then this is just, you know, such an incredible time to listen to the body as well. Okay, all right, so the 7th house, and I will repeat them again just briefly. It might not be the same channeling, but I will repeat them again if people have missed it. So the 7th house is about relationships and the sharing, so mutual sharing. And I'm also kind of hearing this is very much about significant relationships, so long-term partnerships and significant relationships. So what's happening in your world at the moment, if it's falling in your 7th house, you know, what's really happening in your significant relationships? And I know that yeah, so I know that what the guys are saying now is like finding a new way of being together, because obviously it's a very different situation for a lot of people where they're put together now, and they've been in perhaps long-term relationships and marriages for a long time, possibly, and got used to a particular way of being, and now they're having to find a new way of being. And that's what I'm really hearing from my guides about this. So okay, so let me just check if I've got yes, and the notes here are around how can I live with that person. So how can I best live with that person? Right. So if we're going on to the 8th house, so the 8th house is about intimacy, sex, bonding, not bondage, bonding, shared resources, and shared property. So well, not just shared property, but property. And so when I think about intimacy, one of the things I always say is the word intimacy is into me I see. So when I'm looking at that word, I really think, what am I seeing within myself that I'm seeing in another? Does that make sense? So it's about that feeling, because even though the guides are telling me something different, so even though it's talking about intimacy, sex and bonding with another, I'm also hearing from the guides that this is about our own intimacy, so how much we can see into ourselves. Into me I see. All right, so that might be a good time now for you if you have it. Oh, thanks, Wendy. People waiting, apparently. Oh, gosh. Sorry about this. I don't know how to do this. Oh, admit all. There we go. I think I've done it. So it might be a really good time, you know, to, if you're not in a relationship, if you're not in an intimate physical relationship, it might be time to kind of think about, right, what do I need? You know, if I look into me, what do I actually need on that, in that area of life? Okay. All right, if you've just joined, I'm just going through the houses, so you can just look at your chart. It is being recorded. So if you look at yeah, the 9th house, we're looking at travel, ironically, which obviously isn't happening at the moment, study and higher learning and ethical, so our morals and our ethics. So study, you know, it's a really good time to do that. I'm studying astrology and I'm really loving it. I'm an eternal learner. So I'm somebody that, you know, I want to study all the time. I want to know more about it. I want to, you know, really understand it. So if that feels right to you and it's in the 9th house, then really you perhaps can't travel physically, but you can definitely travel in your mind, okay? And really kind of come into that, what the guides are giving me here is come into that heart space and really ask about, you know, what would be for my highest and best good, so that I could, because it's not really learning anything, it's remembering it. And what we do is we remember it from other times, other lifetimes, and you know, times where we've lived before. So it's not that we're actually learning anything, but we're actually just remembering it from other times. Okay, so what is it you need to remember from other times, and how does that affect you? How will that affect you ethically? So just have a think about that. And I'm just having a look here. Yeah, so ordinarily it would be long distance travel, and so maybe thinking about what that would look like after, you know, we get the go ahead to jump on a plane again. So that might be something to think about. So the 10th house is, I love this house, fabulous. This is public image, your career, your goals, so, you know, intentions, fame, success and achievements. So this is a really, really good house. If you've got it in the 10th house, then woohoo, that's really exciting for your career. And I would like, and what the guides are saying here is that what's really really key with this is looking at what intentions you have for your career. You know, we said at the start about having an intention for the collective. So when we're looking at creating success or abundance, or, you know, creating a business even, we've got to look at what's the collective, where's my vision for the collective. Okay, so now if you can't get out and you can't do anything, you can't really do much with your career, then really come into that heart space once again and really think about, oh well, how would that look? Oh, thank you. Yeah, and what the guys are saying here for this was really good, is to really visualize yourself actually doing or experiencing what you would like to. So if you feel like your career needs a bit of a shift, or you don't feel that you're living completely in alignment with your mission, perhaps, then really visualize how that might feel, or visualize what that might mean to you, even if you can't get out and do it, right? So you can just visualize that. The more you visualize something, the more it becomes part of your energy and part of your knowing. And in my old days of psychology, Erickson called it the lucky 7. So, you know, basically if you say something 7 times, it goes from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. Okay, so imagine if you're visualizing something constantly, it's really going into that part of you that it's just like a muscle, isn't it? It's like constantly there, right? So if we're going to the 11th house, we're really looking at groups and society and courses. So it might be that you run courses or that you're attending courses, but I feel more this is about you really putting things together so that you can work with groups, maybe similar to this, but groups and society. Okay, so really thinking about working with society. And I'm just going to ask guys about this. Hold on. Yeah, okay, so what I'm hearing is, yeah, thank you, group energy and group consciousness. Okay, group consciousness is really key at the moment, and so that's probably why I've been guided to do a series of these calls, because I feel it's really important to connect with people anyway, but I feel at this time more so. So think about that. If it's lying in your 11th house, then really think about, how could I connect with groups? And of course, Zoom's really good for that. Even if it's a few people, you could get together and chat to people, or have a messenger group like we do on our monthly group call. And we're kind of talking all the time on that group. So it's just a really lovely way to connect with people. And I'm feeling quite strongly that there's a lot of people on here that could easily set up their own groups, and they can be free, whatever you want to do. So if it's in your 12th house, so I always see this as, when we talk about endings of something, and of course the full moon, what I know about the full moon is that it's almost like a culmination of everything you've kind of put together over the last few weeks, couple of weeks. And so you're bringing into the next part, coming into the new moon in a couple of weeks, where it's new beginnings. So sometimes the 12th house is seen at the, really seen of endings. It's seen of, things coming to an end. And so what would be really great is when you do your meditation for yourself, and I'm going to expand more on the 12th house in a minute, but when you do your meditation for yourself, to really, put that out there as well for all of those people that, are experiencing difficult endings, so that, you can really put your beautiful energy out there to help them with that. Because what comes from endings is always new beginnings. Okay, so however that looks in your life. So it's really about about closure. It's about your spiritual self as well. And I quite like the 12th house in that sense. And what I'm being shown in the tarot, I don't do tarot, but I'm being shown a tarot card, and it's the Tower. So I know a few of you on here do tarot, definitely Lorraine does. And so the Tower for me is about, getting rid of and throwing out all of the old. And I feel like this is going to be a really cathartic time for whoever's got it in the 12th house, and a really, really good time for new beginnings afterwards. And I just do want to say something as well for everybody. So I trained as a naturopath many years ago. And when we're looking at the full moon and the new moon, we're looking at the body doing this incredible thing where it actually wants to clear out of the cell. So we have the cells and we have everything that's in the cells, and we have toxicity in the cells. And so basically what the time of a full moon and a new moon is, it just kind of tries to push that out. Okay, so it's possible that at this time, which is why I felt there was another wave coming, it's possible at this time that we may hear, if people watch the news, we may hear of more people having difficulties with their health. Okay, and wouldn't it be interesting to see where it fell in their chart, you know, where this fell in their chart? It'd be really interesting to me to see where it was. But essentially, we're looking at every full moon, every new moon, every equinox, every big shift that happens in the planets. We're looking at the body, this incredible vehicle that we chose, actually trying to release unwanted energy so that it can beautifully go into the next cycle. Okay, so we would have had already at the time of the equinox, which was the 21st of March, we would have already had lots of people bringing up lots of coughs, lots of sore throats, lots of headaches, because it's a great way to release it. And we would have already had, at the time of this full moon and also the new moon 2 weeks ago, we would have also had a lot of that going on anyway. So the question is, would that have happened anyway, or is there something else going on, of course? So let's really think about coming into our own power with that, and thinking about, oh, how clever my body is and how incredible my body is, and it will always do the best it possibly can to show me what I need to heal. Okay, so I thought it was quite important to say that, especially at that 12th house. Okay, so does anybody want me to repeat this? Just say yes or no, or do you want me to just move on? Does anyone want to say? Let me find, because there's quite a few chats down here, so let me just have a look. Oh, Wendy, yeah, sore throats and headaches, yeah. So we on Thursday we're doing a body healing retreat. Well, we'll talk much more about that if you feel drawn to do that, and I'll tell you how to do that at the end. Okay, no, thank you. You're okay. Move on. Okay. All right. So 5th house for creativity. Yeah, I said, Alex, I said the 5th house was for romance ordinarily, but what the guides were giving me was the channeling of creativity. Okay, so what we can do after we've done the meditation and the global healing that will be channeled, we can check in, and it'll be really nice to hear from a few of you and hear where your house is, and I'll ask the guides to tune in a bit more for you. So as best I can, you know, I just kind of go with what I'm given and go with how I feel about it, and you know, I'm just learning this stuff, so I'm not learning working with my guides, but I'm learning astrology. Okay, so let's just come to our heart space again. And so just thinking about what that was for you, how it represented in your life at this time of the full moon in Libra, this incredible, bright, expansive, powerful full moon, super moon in Libra. And just imagine that you can fill up your heart with that beautiful golden light again. And this time I'm actually seeing it like a beautiful platinum golden white moon, which is amazing to see this. And I want you to imagine that you're holding that moon out, beautiful sphere, excuse me, out in front of you, that ball of light. And what the guides are giving me here actually is for you to see yourself in the reflection of this moon, this full moon. And as you look at yourself in this reflection, I want you to see yourself being that reflection of who you really want to be, as connected to the house that we've just talked about. And if you can't remember, or you came on late, or you don't know, that's okay. I just want you to ask your guidance, your inner guidance, and if you work with your guides, ask your guides to show you And just see yourself filling up with pure happiness and joy. See the smile on your face. And if it's harmonizing within your relationships within home, see that. If you can see your ancestors, if you're the fourth house, it's very much about the home and your roots and your family. And I'm just going to feel drawn to read them out as we're doing this. If you're the third house, it's very much about your neighbours and your community, your communication with them. See yourself in the moon. Feel the energy start to shift. The second house, it's about abundance and money. Your daily routine. The first house, it's your expression out in the world. New beginnings. 12th house can be about endings, closures. See yourself filling up with joy and love and expansion. 11th house is about society and groups, friends. See yourself expanding. 10th house is about who you are in the public, your goals, your success, your achievements. See yourself expanding with joy and happiness. The 9th house, it's about learning and travelling in your mind, maybe. More visualization. Expand that joy and happiness out through the whole of your being. The 8th house is about intimacy. Into me, I see. Sharing. Maybe sharing the world. Seventh house is about long-term committed relationships and how perhaps a new commitment might be found. Sixth house is about acts of service, health. How is your body? Expand that joy, happiness, vibrancy, vitality. Fifth house, it's about channeling your creativity and romance. Back again to our roots and our family in the fourth house. So I want you all to see your reflection in the moon that you're holding symbolically in front of you. And then I want you to expand that joy and happiness that you have in your heart in that reflection. And I want you to see that expansion go out throughout the whole globe. So as you see that moon, you see it get bigger and bigger and bigger, and expanding out all of your love, compassion, joy, happiness, pure abundance out into the world. And knowing that you are that channel, and that as you give, you receive. Everything that you are giving today, you are receiving equal harmony, joy, balance, abundance. What the guides are showing me is a beautiful flow of giving and receiving. And just see the joy on your face in that reflection as you are giving this and receiving at the same time. And imagine that you could see the joy on everyone else's faces as they just received that light of love in their heart, as they felt that. Yeah, and the guides are saying as they felt hope, as just that glimmer of hope came into their heart, that all is well, that everything will be. And there's always a way forward. Just keep sending out and receiving. And what the guides are also giving me here is, as we did with the global healing meditation on Sunday, on Saturday, just to imagine that all the plants and the animals are all receiving this love at this time of this incredible full moon, to bring the harmony to the planet and just allow them to receive if they can receive. We're not forcing anything on anybody, we're just offering it. It's like an offering out. And if they can receive that offering, then that's perfect. And if not, it's also perfect. Good, and remember to breathe. Now I wish you just to imagine that there is this beautiful column of light in front of you, still connecting with your reflection in the moon, that beautiful expansive moon. And I want you to bring that moon into your heart with that reflection of you receiving all of that abundance, that love, that unity, peace and calm. And that's just for you. And as you see that column of light in front of you, I want you to place anyone in that column of light that you feel may need some help at this time. That under the light of this full moon, wherever you are in the world, that they receive whatever they choose to receive. It is their free will. And just to send pure unconditional love to all of those loved ones that you're putting in this beautiful beam of healing light, knowing that the power of collective consciousness and intention is incredible. And just hold them in that space. And if they are, there may be some people around you that are very fearful. You may feel fearful yourself, or just have little waves of fear. And just know that we can really come home to that part of us that really has all the answers, that always did have all the answers. Our inner knowing, our inner guidance, our higher self, and knowing that we're never on our own. So I want you just to allow all those loved ones and friends to just start to melt into that light. And you see that light start to change as you know they've received what they need. And you start to get this sense of this peace within you, this beautiful flow of peace. And what the guides are giving me is this feeling of possibility, that There is incredible possibility at this time of change that when we can come into that part of us that really feels connected to the inner knowing that we have, the part of us that always knew we could heal ourselves, and the part of us that has so much power within. When we can do that, even if it's for 1 second a day, we can look at the outside world and just be peaceful in it for that second. And just that now of that moment helps the planet to heal. So just stay in that peace as you start to come back, in the knowing that you've raised your vibration. You've come to a higher vibration of unconditional love. Many people would have felt your love and received the healing that they need, that they've been asking for, either consciously or within their heart. And so it is. Wow. How is everybody? I feel like I want some water. Actually, I might have some ginger, cold tea. Oh, how is everybody? Would anyone like to share what their house was? Ah, thanks, Sue. What their house was, what they experienced from that, how they saw themselves in the mirror of the moon. You know? Oh, Becky, that's so beautiful. Becky said, my dad decided to come and visit spiritually. So amazing. So that's really lovely. So the doorway was opened in that moment of peace and giving and receiving at the same time. For him to be able to blend with, you know, our density that we are in this human form, and how spirit comes in as they blend with they try to blend with us. So they wait for those moments. Yeah. To come in. I mean, I teach mediumship, and it's such a beautiful thing when loved ones do come in like that, Becky. So it's really beautiful. Ah, Libra's in your second house. Wow. So, you know, it's great that you all can really look at where that is for you and perhaps listen to it again. But if anyone wants me to tune, I'm glad it was special, Becky. If anyone wants to tune in, I can see some faces that I know here. Suzanne, I haven't seen you for a long time. Oh, I don't know. Okay. I mean, I know where it is.
What is it?
So we have the South Node and the North Node, don't we? I know one of them, the North Node, is really about what you've brought in. I think it's the North Node. Let me ask, hold on. It's either the North, my North Node is in Pisces. No, I think the South Node is what you've brought in. Liam, are you there? Can you unmute yourself and say, is it the South Node what you've brought in from other lifetimes, and the North Node is what you're going, you know, really doing in this lifetime? Liam, do you want to unmute yourself, or do you want me to? You might not want to. I've unmuted you, Liam.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
is it
hi.
Hi, my love.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's been really difficult connecting with you this evening, and I really wondered why at first. It's because I needed to get a candle out and loads of crystals and stuff. So it's really setting me up. But going back to your question, yeah. So thank you very much. Yeah, the South Node is the gifts that we brought with us from past lives. The North Node is where we're going to, and it's of course about where we see ourselves in terms of like this lifetime and where we're going towards. So
oh, thank you, my love. Oh, thank you. So I hope that cleared. Thanks, Liam, darling. It cleared it up for Linnell there. I knew what they were, but I didn't know which way round they were. We haven't done that in astrology yet in my training, so I was just working on what it was about the full moon. But what I do know about Pluto, which is really, really important, I feel, is very much about what we're bringing up to heal now and what we have been bringing up to heal. And the other thing I do know is that Jupiter expands everything. So Jupiter is around at the moment, and Jupiter is expanding everything. So whatever is going on in your world, it will be expanding right now. And this is why we're seeing, in my opinion, this is why we're seeing such a rising consciousness, which is very exciting, where people are really realizing that they are having to find some other way of being and really coming into themselves to find that answer, because of course we never can find the answer outside of ourselves. It's never. We can help, and we can be channels for people, but the answers really are from within. So look, I loved when we sent out all the love to those who needed it. Yeah, absolutely, Pragati. And you were here on Saturday night going into Sunday for the UK, and I look less tired today because it wasn't 3:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning when I was doing it. But yeah, I felt like it was so powerful, what we did with that global healing. And when I looked at the Schumann resonance that I showed at the top, if people didn't come on right at the top, I'll just show it again. When I looked at the Schumann resonance of what happened, if you imagine that's what happened when not just us, not just our group, but everybody all over the world. And Zoe, thanks for sharing that on your group, my love, because I just snapshotted it and thought I would share it, because I just think that's so beautiful. When you can look at that, you can actually even feel the light from that, don't you think? So if we can just do a little bit of that, each time, if we can just do a little bit of that and help people to feel that light within, then I think we're doing a good job. I think we're doing as much as we possibly can. And one of the things that I think is also really, really, really important is to really come home to what it is you're meant to be doing in this world. The key is really truly living what you are meant to do, your mission, what you chose to come in to do, and how is that playing out in your world. And maybe we'll do one of these on mission, because it's my mission to get you guys on your mission, right? It's like my favorite thing in the world. So when you truly live your mission, like I really believe I live my mission, I absolutely love doing what I do, and every day of the week I love it, and it doesn't really feel like work. And that's why I love doing these events, and a lot of them are free, because it's just kind of who I am. It's not really like a job. And I think when you get up every day and you do that and you realize it's not like work, then you're living your mission. And so I want everyone to kind of feel that way too. Okay. So yeah, absolutely, Pragati. It is, we can't kind of clear people's contracts and past lives and stuff like that for them. That isn't our job to do that. But what we can do is we can send out as much light as we possibly can, and if people are ready to receive that, then they're ready to receive it, and we're not actually putting it on them. Okay. I just got a promotion and I now know I can achieve my mission. Oh my goodness, of becoming a judge. Wow. I saw myself as a judge in the moon. It's my way to serve. Wow. I love to see your chart. But that, you know, real scales of justice, right, is Libra. So it's quite interesting, you know, if you look at the sign, it's like a balance and scales of justice. And one thing about Libra, being a big Libra myself, is that I just like everything to be in balance. And that's probably why I'm a spiritual scientist, because I like the evidence, but I also like the spiritual. So it's kind of both of it. So I love it. Well done. Congratulations on doing what you really want to do in the world, and how you can really be that representative for others, for justice. That's amazing. So Alex says, 5th house makes sense because I've been working so hard on my book, which fits into my purpose, and I've been receiving guidance to channel. Okay, amazing. Yeah, and I'm with you on the book thing. I just finished channeling mine a couple of months ago, and it's with the editor. And I actually ended up channeling it in about 10 hours, but it took 2 years to sit down and channel it in 10 hours. So I kind of get when you say it was hard work. Zoe, my ascendant's in Libra. Okay, yeah. So ascendant would be your 1st house, wouldn't it? And it's a little bit in your 1st house and a little bit in your 12th house. So feel what it feels like, because obviously I know you very well. So you are really kind of starting to step out in the world, aren't you? And endings are happening. So looking at the 12th house. Okay, Claire, thank you, Susan. This is my first experience with you. Oh, thanks, Claire. Oh, brilliant. Well, Claire, you're very welcome to be here and connect with us. And, you know, there are lots of people that I do know very well on here in my groups. We have a monthly healing group call, in fact, is tomorrow night, UK time, 8 o'clock. We do all sorts of stuff like that. We've got a healing retreat, body healing retreat on Thursday. Oh, we do all sorts of stuff. Just have a look.
I'm going to have a look. Thank you.
Yeah, have a look. You see what we're up to. Oh, we also do mediumship. We do all sorts of stuff. You know, whatever people want and need, kind of put it together. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing what you do.
How did you find it? Was it, where did you find it? Sorry,
what your work?
Yeah, where did you know about this?
From Lorraine, because obviously I watch Lorraine's tarots every morning. She's given me a few readings in the past, so she's given me advice as well on people to follow and stuff. So yeah, so I've heard about you, and also through another friend of mine actually called Tanya, who worked with you as well.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've heard a lot about you and your amazing stuff.
Oh, thanks, Claire. Well, you're very welcome. What did you get from the moon thing? Did you see yourself in the moon reflection? What did you see?
Yeah.
Which house are you? Which house are you?
7, number 7.
Oh.
Took me ages to work out. I've never seen one of those charts before.
I know, it's good, isn't it? That's the science I like. So does that reflect what's going on for you at the moment in your kind of intimate relationships? And
well, I kind of missed a lot of it because I was looking at my chart and trying to work out the Libra sign and what I was looking for and where the house numbers were and all the rest of it. So by the time I worked it out, I think you was on about number 9 or 10. So I missed it, but I'm gonna play back and listen.
Go back over and have a look at it. Yeah. It does take a little bit of time to look at it, but I tried to do it as slowly as I possibly could, and the guides gave a bit of intuition. Yeah, so it, you know, obviously, as I said, I'm learning it. I'm remembering it, I suppose I could say, rather than learning it. But I'm not, you know, like it's not what I do as a job. I just thought I'd have fun and bring it in, you know. One day it might be. You never know.
Well, you seem to be so good
anyway.
At it. And it's very confusing.
I think I have many past lives. Yeah, doing it. Yeah, I think I have many past lives, or I have a good astrologer up in my team helping me. Maybe that's probably what I have.
Yeah.
Thanks, Claire. Thanks, my love. Okay. Anybody else want to share what they experienced? Oh, Zoe, 1-1. Oh yeah, 11-11. Oh my God, look at that. Oh my goodness, God, where does the time go? Okay. Well, I'm having fun, so I'll stay on. Who else wants to share something? I'm just going to mute you, Claire. Let's just mute you, my love. Okay. Who wants to share? Guy, do you want to share? I haven't seen you for ages. Do you want to share? That'd be a no. Okay. Anybody else? Jane, do you want to share? Do you want to share?
Yes.
Yay!
Hello.
Hi.
What type it out, but
what house is it?
I'm Libra. My star sign is actually Libra, and my house is the 3rd house, so it's all to do with neighbours and community and all that sort of thing. And I'm just wondering if it's because, you know, during this quarantine that we're in, I'm just really enjoying being at home at the moment. I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
And just the time out and just just kind of being with my kids and just having.
Have you got any other planets in Libra? Have you got any other?
Yeah, I mean there are loads of them in there.
So like mine probably.
Yeah, it's quite a few. I think Pluto is, and sorry, I just find it again.
You heard what I said about Pluto, right?
No, what did you say?
So Pluto is kind of, I believe, is all about the kind of past lives coming up to be healed.
Oh, so yes, that's right.
That's, yeah.
Let me just. Yes.
But anyway, you've got quite a few in there. So they all would have been touched.
Yes. Okay.
You know, they all would have been. It's just my opinion, but I would say that if it's a full supermoon in Libra, they would have all been touched. And then because we've got this, so if you look down here on mine, I don't know if people can see.
I've got Mercury.
These are the transits.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, you're the same as me, Jane. Same as me. I've got
Mercury, the Sun.
So if you look down there, there's
Uranus,
the transits.
Oh yes, that's it. Yeah.
Looks like almost like mine. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna like.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah. So basically, if you look at,
you can't see at all. If you can, no, it's just too.
Yeah, that's right, Becky. Becky's saying Pluto's generational. Yeah, because my Pluto is in Virgo. Okay. And so it depends on, so I'm 50, so I was born in 69, and people, how far, Becky, what's the age group for Virgo? Do you know? I think it's from a particular time to a particular time. Yeah, so yeah, okay, so hers is in Libra, right, and she's 78. She's not 78 years old. That was the year she was born. I believe, yeah. Said I'm being cheeky, but you know, she's a neighbour of mine actually. She lives down the road. Right. That's really good. Yeah, we bumped into each other and I told her she should come on. But yeah, and if you look at the Jupiter, so we look at the transits at the moment that are going on: Jupiter, Pluto, Mars as well, which obviously you know is kind of the drive, and also Saturn. And it's really powerful at the moment. So I believe that it's not just about this full moon, but it's also about that transit that's happening. So that's just my feeling about it, definitely. So I think it's bringing everything up to us to really look at what we want, and what do we need to change in our life. And you know, whatever's going on in the outside world for me is, we're looking at almost like this great expansion and this great kind of unity coming together. Forget, you know, like the NHS are doing a really good job. They're really helping, and lots of people coming together and helping. And I see this, and this is really lovely, and it's a reflection of unity. But I really feel that the unity is the consciousness that's coming together. And if more people could kind of come into that knowing of who they are, then I think we wouldn't have so much drama going on. Yeah, so we could come into that knowing, and then we're just not in fear. There just isn't anything that outside of us can get us ever, because we are a divine being of light having a human experience, right? So it's if we're a divine being of light having a human experience, I'm not sure that really anything can affect us, can it? You know, unless we perceive it to. So let's have a look at Pragati. So he's laughing. I've got Jupiter and Uranus in Libra, yeah. Oh God, I don't know. I'm not an astrologer. I can ask. Let me ask. Let me ask. Well, Jupiter is expansion, and Uranus. Might ask Liam about this. Uranus. Liam, can you throw some light on this? This is turning into an astrology lesson. Liam, can you throw some light on this, or Becky, or who wants to? My two lovely people who know much more about astrology than I do. Liam, where have you gone? Is he gone? He might have gone. Let me find him. Becky, do you want to throw some light on this? Oh, there's Liam. He's gone. I can see his sofa. Liam, are you there? He's gone for a second. Becky, do you want to throw some light on that? She doesn't. I don't think she does. Okay, well, I can't really tell you. I'm just, you know, I'm learning astrology, but I definitely know that Jupiter is about expansion. Okay, so to me, it would be about whatever's happening with you at the moment would mean that it's going to expand it. It's going to make it bigger. So it's really interesting about your being a judge, because, and you've just, you know, qualified and got that. Well, it's expanding, isn't it? And it's expanding your mission. So it'd be just really interesting rather, to look at your chart properly. And you know what? I can't wait till I've done this training course, because to me, the science of astrology is just the best thing in the world. And I'm also talking to somebody who does numerology. So I'm learning a bit about that as well. So no doubt I'll be bringing that in to one of these, and I'll be doing a numerology on your name and your date of birth and stuff. So yeah, I can't help you too much on astrology, but I can give it a go. So anybody else want? Okay, Jane. Yeah, lovely to see you. Thanks for coming. Oh, thank you, Rupal. Are you an astrologer? Anyway, Rupal says, thank you. Uranus is the great awakener. I love that. That's brilliant. Kind of, he says, or they say. Okay, so the great awakener. Oh my God. So isn't that perfect at the moment when everyone is wakening up, having to wake up, aren't they? You know, they really are having to wake up. So it's perfect. I have that in Libra as well. Yeah, Roshni. Yeah, see you later, Roshni. Thank you for joining. Okay, so Michelle, where is it in your chart? Where is it in yours?
Hold on. It's in the 12th house. And it's
endings and yeah, closures and endings. So
my children have all been saying to me, Mum, perhaps you won't be childminding anymore after this and endings. So, but I felt really tearful. I just was really, I actually had tears in my eyes and I had a pain in my heart, sort of a tingling. So yeah.
Well, that is, I mean, that 12th house is, you know, a very strong one. I spoke about it quite a lot, didn't I, you know, when we were doing this. And it is very much about, there's a lot of endings at the moment, a lot of closures, aren't there, for people, their businesses, you know, everything, things like that. So, well, Michelle has been on my mentor program, haven't you? The Spiritual Gifts mentor program. She's also on a mediumship. And at the very start, it was kind of like the childminding was you know, like it was almost like you weren't there anymore. You were still there, but you weren't quite there. And you could see that there was somewhere else where you needed to be. So that's all starting to unfold, isn't it? And so it would make sense that this full moon is kind of showing you, because presumably you haven't got a lot of childminding work, right?
No, I haven't. I've only got some.
Yeah, because not a lot of people will be needing you because they're not working. So it's kind of coming to a natural end itself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Is that going to happen?
Yeah. So how interesting that was in your 12th house. So it's really interesting for me to see that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, love. Okay. So anybody else want to share anything? I'll try my best to help you with your chart, but I can't promise.
I have 4 houses.
Oh, Linnell, hi.
Or 4,
Yeah.
I have 4 planets in my 5th house. I have something in 1, 2, 5, 7.
What have you got? What have you got in Libra?
Libra was my moon and my north node.
Ah, that's why you asked about. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that the moon is very much about emotions.
The Libra is straight across from Aries, right?
Yeah, opposite each other. So the moon is very much about your emotions, and the sun is about how you're seen. So you know, the moon I think seen as the feminine, and the sun is seen as the masculine aspect. So the moon's very much, that's probably why the goddesses were coming in, and the high priestess in that channeling was because it's very much about the feminine, the moon. So it's that gentle kind of, it's almost serenity, isn't it? And so that's what I'm feeling about that as I connect with that. And it was, oh, Lansing, thank you. Oh, yeah, okay, Glitter Queen, one sec. Glitter Queen, what a great name. That would suit you, Linnell, that name. So yeah, I would say that it's very much about your emotions. And you know, Linnell's actually in, what place is it you're in at the moment? You've traveled to?
I'm in Tahoe. Oh,
yeah, but where did you go to at the weekend?
Oh, Shasta.
Yeah, Mount Shasta, that's right. Yeah. So you were there, and that would have been quite you know, an awakening and a time of really emotions. Yeah. So it makes sense that that would be, you know, you're back home now, but you would have experienced that leading up.
Last night. I'll wait till we talk.
Yeah, well, we'll talk tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow about it. Yeah, thanks, Linnell. So Glitter Queen, do you want to unmute yourself? I can't see you on here, so let me see if I can. Yeah, can you unmute yourself? And I'll see what I can do. I can't decode it. I'll give it a go. Oh, there you are. I'll unmute you. I can't see it like that. You have to just tell me.
Oh, I don't understand it at all. I'm so confused. I'm a Taurian.
Yeah, but what house is your Libra in? So if you look at Libra on your chart,
right.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this chart. It's so tiny.
If you look at Libra, see which house it's in.
It's she. That's that one, isn't it? Yeah, the little line underneath. Yeah.
Oh, what, the symbol?
Yeah.
It looks like a bridge.
Yeah, it's in house 5, but yeah, in house 5.
Okay, so did you hear what I said about house 5?
I don't think so. If I did,
So it was romance. So it's romance, self-expression, and creativity.
Right.
So it's about, you know, but what the guys were saying to me was, it was about, if you weren't in the romance at the moment, then it was about channeling that creativity through. And actually, yeah, wasn't it about the Kundalini energy? Do you remember? Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what might be playing out for you at the moment.
Okay, got you. Right.
Is that all right? What is your name? Because obviously it's not Glitter, presumably.
Chanel.
Oh, Chanel. Ah, oh, that's lovely. Lovely to meet you, Chanel. I don't think I've seen you before.
No.
No, okay.
It's normally black.
Oh, okay. Well, great. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so anybody else? Lisa, thank you, Susan. I had no idea what you were talking about, but I guessed my house. Thank you for introduction to astrology. Lisa, you, me both. I tell you, I'm just having fun with it. And I just thought how brilliant to do it at the time of a full moon in Libra, because it's so powerful at the moment. Stacey has to go. Thank you. She thanks everyone for their lovely energy. Grateful to share the full moon with you all. Okay, so does anyone want to share anything about what's happening with them in their life at the moment that they want to share, that they feel they would like to share with, and then we can talk about that. Mel loves being in these groups. Yeah, I love being in these groups as well, Mel. Thanks for being here. Anybody want to share anything? Oh, Liam, do you want to share your crystal? You should try to share your, I'll unmute you. Oh, what a beautiful crystal. What is that one?
It's a crystal skull.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, this is,
wow.
I tried to connect it into 2 computers to you this evening. Never had a problem before. And I thought, hold on, I can't hear you. So I connected in using my mobile, and my guidance was saying to me, get your crystal skull out, get your candles out.
Wow.
And basically this is where I'm at. So I've just been using my crystal skull here to, you know, with the moon and the energies and stuff like that. It's been beautiful. And your meditation and your guidance, unbelievable, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh, Liam, thank you, and thanks for your presence as well, and helping me with the astrology is really helpful.
I'm really an astrologer. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, I don't know about that yet, but if I can help people kind of understand it a little bit, and I love it that the guides come in and give a little bit more than what it says, you know, what's written down in notes.
I loved what you said about the 5th house. Wow, that's so powerful, because the 5th house is like, you know, it's about Leo energy, so it's very creative. So, you know, the guidance there about the creativity aspect of things and putting something out into the world, it comes from the heart, because Leo is ruled by the heart. So it's love. So that was just amazing, you know.
What they said. Okay. Well, maybe I'll just do intuitive astrology after it, or I'll just do intuitive. I won't look at, I'll be just going, okay, what do you want to tell me about this?
The combination of both of them is so helpful, though. It, you know, really sort of nailed it for everyone. And the guidance that was coming through this evening, you know, it was just like, wow, that's just awesome. So thank you very much.
That's really good. Thanks, Liam. Thanks, lovely.
Thank you.
Thanks, sweetie. So we're doing, what I was going to say was tomorrow we've got our monthly group call, which is great. But Thursday, we're doing in the afternoon. Wendy, I don't know what time it is. You'll have to remind me of what time it is. I think it's 3 or 2 in the afternoon, UK. We're doing a 90-minute body healing retreat. And one of the things that we're doing on that is we're looking at the vibration of our field. So I wrote something down, actually, to share, because I won't remember the actual velocity of it. And it was like, did you know that fear in the body, okay, so if you imagine fear is a bit like eating curry, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and love is like steamed vegetables and fruit and things like that, and love and abundance is like that in your body. If you imagine the hertz that it is in a vibration is 0 to 2 in fear. So if you imagine that vibration as being quite low, and then abundance and love is 205 and above. So if you think about, if you're vibrating at 205 and above, then you really are in that love kind of attraction vibration. I don't just mean relationship love, I mean love meaning abundance and aligning to your mission, etc., etc. So what I really wanted to do on this body retreat was not just talk about the body from a science perspective, which is what I do quite a lot, but I really wanted to help people raise the vibration. So there's lots of things that we're doing. Have a look on the website. It's on the website. Wendy put it on the website, and you can have a look. It's only £33, so convert that into dollars or wherever you are in the world. And 90 minutes of healing to do with the body, and really to do with aligning, you know, that whole vibrational crystalline field with your physical body. So that's what we're doing on Thursday afternoon, and it's quite a small group, so it's not going to be like a massive group like this, but it's quite a small group. And I do group stuff, but I also do individual work as well. So if you're interested in that, have a look on the website, which is just my name, susankennard.co.uk. that's cool. And then we're going to be doing, that's part 1, and then part 2 is going to be some other stuff to do with the body. And then we're also running a really big program, which is an 8-week body, soul, the universe program, which is working with every single part of the body and the metaphysical causes of dis-ease. And we're doing light language and clearing each organ, and we're also doing clearing vaccination, so the traces of vaccination, also doing immunology. So we're looking at the immune system, so we're looking at a lot of stuff like that. And there's private sessions with that one. So that's a big program. That's something where you can really walk through the whole of your consciousness within your body, knowing that your body is holding the messages and is a barometer for your emotions, and also what you've brought in epigenetically from other lifetimes and your ancestors. So it's really cool. So I put that together. I've been thinking about doing that for years, and now was the time. So that's really cool as well. So if you fancy that, I'm just trying to think of what else is going on. Oh, we run a mediumship group, which is on a Friday lunchtime. I'm running it now, so it's ongoing now. So you could be a guest on it if you want to be a guest, but you can't join it just yet. But we'll be running it again, and that's for 6 weeks. And that's an ongoing program. So if you're interested in learning about proper mediumship, how you can really connect with your guides and loved ones and give messages to others, but really learn it in a way where it's professional. I was very blessed. I learned at the College of Psychic Studies in central London, and I learned by some incredible teachers about 25 years ago, and I've been a medium all that time, and I worked on the platforms in London, and I've been teaching it for years. So if you want to learn professionally how to do it, and do it in a way where you really are a spiritual counsellor, then I'd love to talk to you about that. And Wendy, can you think of anything else that's coming up that we're running that I haven't mentioned? Can you unmute yourself? Oh, she's there. Wendy? Oh, spiritual entrepreneur. My God, I forgot about that. So we are running a spiritual entrepreneur program. You have to really kind of be living in alignment with your mission, or being on my spiritual gifts mentor program first. So that's a prerequisite, and just talk to me about it if you want to go on that. And that's really aligning you to the success and the abundance of really living your mission, but being an entrepreneur within your mission. So being of service, but really living it as a business and not just as a hobby. Okay, that's what I really want to help people to do. And it's okay to charge, it's okay to charge money for what you do. So it's really homing in and realizing that you really can be an entrepreneur and a spiritual entrepreneur. All right, so I really want to and that's it, is it, Wendy? Yeah, okay, cool, that's it. So unless anyone's got anything else they want to share with me, I'm gonna have some ginger tea. Look up to the moon, really feel into the energy of this moon, really feel into how it resonates with you. We really are connected to the tides of the sea and the moon. It's all connected. We are 90% water. So we're going to be affected by the moon massively, and realize that there is no separation, that consciousness is the moon, the sun, Mother Earth, the universe, the multiverse, and you are part of it. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being part of this beautiful energy. I'm sure that many people have received your love and your energy and your healing that went out tonight, and I'm just so grateful that you joined me on this. So keep in touch, join the newsletter if you haven't joined it already, and it's just at my website susankennard.co.uk. And if you want to talk to me about anything else, any programs we're running, then I'd love to speak to you. Much love for now. Thank you. Thanks so much for being here. And this replay will go out across all my Facebook and social media. And if you desperately want this on email, you need to email me directly and ask for it, because we're not going to send it out to every single person on this list. All right. Okay. So much love. Thank you so much for your contribution. And those of you that are on my monthly healing group call, I will see you tomorrow night. Okay. Much love. See you soon. Now I've got to work out how to close it. Bye for now. Oh dear.